goal from Carlos Bocanegra. Lloyd will try a long hit. What a goal from Lloyd. This is spectacular. It's hit with no regard for humanity. Is this the moment for Shaqiri? Yes, it is. Switzerland and Shaqiri have scored in the 90th minute. That was worth the price of admission alone.
This is Soccer Matters
on ESPN 97.5 and 97.9 HD2.
Brought to you by the Daspit Law Firm, DaspitLaw.com. Broadcasting live from the mobile Huntington Bank Studios, located at Senate Avenue Brewing Company in Jersey Village. Here's Glenn Davis.
121 days away from the opening of the World Cup at Azteca Stadium in Mexico City. Welcome into Senate Avenue Brewing here tonight. 16,000 Dillard in Jersey Village. And we are excited about tonight's live radio. If you're out and about on the town, you're out on 290, you take the Senate Avenue exit, you come over here. It is award-winning craft beer. It is some of the best in food, fresh. Today is Bulgogi Bowl night, which is my favorite night. I'm glad it's on Tuesdays here. So if you are out and about, come on out here tonight. Like I said, 121 days to the World Cup. Knock 3 off that, and then it's when our opener is here in Houston when Germany will take on Curacao. We stream at ESPN975.com. Number to call in here tonight is 713-780-3776. Again, Senate Avenue Brewing, Soccer Matters, brought to you by John Daspit and the Daspit Law Firm. A big thank you to John and his firm. So what I'm going to tell you tonight about this show, and I know there are people listening in, tonight's show is about taking back your soccer community. Every single guest on this show is someone that has connected with and has been a big part of the soccer community in Houston. So every single segment we're going to have live guests on, whether it's player development, whether it's the head coach of a college program in Houston, whether it's a former professional coach of the Houston Dynamo, Tim Hanley. Everybody's got a connection. We'll have supporters groups representatives on here tonight. But it's something I want to really exclaim and remind people. You can take control of your soccer community in whatever way you want to. You don't have to wait for people to tell you. And there are a lot of people that don't wait. So there's a lot of that in the show here tonight. We'll have Jan-Luc Blakborn is going to join me from Team Houston here momentarily. We've got Ryan Pratt, the head coach of Houston Christian University, NCAA Division I program. Tim Hanley, one of the top goalkeeper coaches in the country. Wait till you hear the names of the goalkeepers he's worked with. Earl Barrett, who played for Aston Villa, was up here a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to lean to Earl tonight with a little bit more player development talk because he is a coach at Rise Soccer Club and is involved in player development. We're going to put it out there to Earl and just say, hey, how come we're not producing more Christian Pulisic's and more creative players? And then we'll have Texian Army represented, the Surge, Houston LFC, and the Barcelona supporters group, Houston Coolest. So we'll have Ian Veary of Liverpool, Victor Valencek of Barcelona, Jonathan Castro will be filling in tonight for Juan Carlos. Juan Carlos, if you're listening, get well soon. And then Shannon Sloan from the Texian Army. So that's how we line it up here tonight. I do want to remind people on every show what 7 matches we have coming here to Houston, Texas. So we start off on the 14th of June with Germany and Curacao. Curacao benefits greatly, smallest nation in the World Cup, benefits greatly from the dual nationals. So there's a lot of Dutch influence there. We had them in town. Jan-Luc will know a lot about that. Germany's a 4-time World Cup winner. Then we go to Portugal. Portugal could very well be playing potentially an African team there. They have to get a playoff winner. Those games will take place in March. Then you got the Netherlands, maybe playing the Ukraine, Sweden, Poland, or Albania. Many people lean to Poland as the team they believe that will get through with Robert Lewandowski, but we'll see. And by the way, Matus Bogusz of the Houston Dynamo is a guy that'll be fighting to go to a World Cup potentially with Poland. Then you've got Portugal, Uzbekistan. You got Cape Verde, an island off the west coast of Africa. You will have them against Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is going to be in their camp up in Austin. We do not have a base camp team here yet. We're going to talk with Jan-Luc about that because that's very important to get one of those for the overall complexion. If we don't get one, that's a big miss and a big loss. And then it's on to round of 32 on June 29th, and then the round of 16 on July 4th. James Rodriguez, we had a lot of talk about that. Missed opportunity for the Houston Dynamo. You will never, ever get a chance again to bring a player of that stature here, who's one of the most followed athletes in the world on social media, top 4 with Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi. You will never get an opportunity to bring a guy like that here. Now, I know everybody on Twitter went to me, well, he hasn't had good club form, he hasn't been doesn't matter. We wouldn't bring him to Houston for that. We would bring him for marketing for 5 months. Instead, he goes to Minnesota, and he's getting Minnesota global awareness. Huge missed opportunity. Could have been rolled out for the World Cup as well. With that, I bring in Jan-Luc Blakborn of Team Houston. It's a group that is doing a tremendous amount of great organic work here in Houston, much like a lot of us out there. Jan-Luc, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here again. Always a pleasure to talk with you about our favorite topics, right?
Yes, I'm taking you right into, what I just mentioned about our friend from Colombia that could potentially have been a Houston Dynamo player.
The Colombia community, right? You talked about communities that are important. The Colombia community is important to Houston, and they already don't have games here, which is, of course, some sadness on their behalf. And then this opportunity would have been phenomenal, right? I mean, it would have been stitching the Colombia community to the Shell Energy Stadium for quite a bit, you know. So,
but I look at it from the standpoint of James Rodriguez is a historic World Cup player. He could retire today. He was a leading goal scorer at the 2014 World Cup. He's an icon. He's one of the top followed people on social media in the world. The numbers are incredible.
Yep.
It never would come around again.
So, and that basically means that we need to take the other opportunities that are coming in front of us, right? I mean, if you talk about big following, I think we have, I call the match selection that we have kind of a gift from God, right?
Oh, yeah.
If you look at who is going to be playing here, and if you talk about popular players, Cristiano Ronaldo, right? I mean, the most followed athlete on social media is going to be twice playing here. So that means not only soccer fans. I mean, you're going to get the paparazzi, you're going to get the fashion models, you're going to get the celebrities. I think it's going to be madness all over the place, you know, and that's fantastic.
We got a great taste of Europe with Germany, Portugal, and the Netherlands. I mean, if we were told we were getting that in the beginning, we'll say we'll take it. Because we do get a lot of South American content, Central American content, Mexico, that comes through here. So I love the European feel to this. By the way, James Rodriguez has 51.8 million followers. That would have been a little good bump for the Dynamo from a marketing standpoint.
Yep.
The bottom line is you're going to have to support that. I mean, you're not going to ride that forever. But in a World Cup year, he could have been trotted out as a representative of Houston as a World Cup host city as well.
Well, and so that means now I think everybody needs to see, right? I mean, how can we maximize what we are going to get? And so if you look at these wonderful European teams that you described, obviously I'm very happy. I'm wearing the collar and the hat always. You're going to see me only in orange from here all the way up to July. It's fantastic. I mean, we're obviously a heavily Hispanic town, and so it would have been great if we would have had Brazil or Argentina or any of those.
We could get Brazil.
We
are going to get Brazil or Morocco, most likely.
Not if it depends upon the Netherlands, right? I mean, if you follow that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, having, let's say, these European teams here, right? I mean, you're going to get the best of the best, and so we're going to get the highest quality level of soccer here. And then it's a matter of, like, if you talk about, I mean, community, how do we now bring that to the community? How do we make sure that everybody understands what's going to happen here? Is not just another game. I mean, this is the best in the world that you're going to have in Houston. And what we are trying to make sure with the business community is that everybody is prepared, because not everybody will be able to go to the stadium, right? Not everybody will be able to go to the FinFest, but the matches are going to be everywhere. So we like to say that this is going to be watch party bonanza, right? It's going to be 104 watch parties.
Like right here
in a row.
at Senate Avenue Brewing.
Over
The
here.
mayor wants that. The mayor wants big parties here, big Dutch fan contingents. By the way, the other piece to this is the Dutch, the German, the Portuguese, they're going to travel, and we're going to learn about their culture. We're going to learn about their fandom. There's going to be something to be learned from them, from even supporters groups. And there's all these great connections that are going to occur.
Absolutely, and we're going to go try to help that process. So coming, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday, we start again with our webinars. So we're going to highlight, right, the more details around who are the Portuguese fans, who are the German fans, who are the Netherlands fans. I mean, there are people who believe that you don't need to know about them, but I do think that if you do know more about them, you're going to be better prepared. You're going to be better be able to, as a restaurant or as a bar or as a hotel or as a limo driver, right? I mean, to serve the people that are coming to this town and do a better job for Houston as a total. So we're basically keeping the prep drum rolling with monthly events all the way up to the World Cup to make sure that the business community, of which there are still people who are not aware of all the details of the World Cup.
No, it's pretty incredible. That was going to be one of my questions is, I mean, where is the public awareness? And I think it's still lagging behind. And the other thing I think is that, as we were mentioning before we went on air, they're going to be people who are going to finally realize what is actually coming here in the business community. And they're going to be a month out, and they're going to be scrambling. How do I get attached to this?
Yeah. So again, and that's why I think we're now 15 plus months in this. And as I say to our team, right, I mean, it's sort of like a two-sided coin. It's very frustrating to see that we still need to tell the basics, but at the same time, it's rewarding to see that those people who we have told the basics, that they're actually doing things. Right, there are people preparing things. There are people preparing apps, websites, parties, and so on. So it's going to happen. But there are still people who you think like, really? Do I still need to explain the basics of what is coming? Yes, we still need to explain, and we will continue to do so.
So we haven't done a good enough job of that overall, I don't think.
Well, and I think it is in a relationship to, where we come from, right? I mean, so a country that is not a soccer country, right? I mean, if 30% of the population... Did you just say the U.S.
is not a soccer
country? Is not a soccer country. Not yet. It's on its way to become a soccer country.
It is in the context of a much more crowded landscape than the Netherlands.
I mean, if you go to any other
There is a soccer culture here. You yourself have said there's 2 million fans here from all over the world.
Absolutely. So there is, if you take Houston, if you take L.A., if you take New York, I mean, those are cities with huge soccer fan bases. And so there is a soccer community, and you're pointing that out, right? I mean, the different fan groups, that is absolutely the case. Have we fully milked that? Have we fully mobilized that so that the broader population is, let's say, coming on board with the soccer game? That is an opportunity that I think, not only this city, but
that's a leadership issue in Houston. We have not been able to tie it all together here, like maybe in some other markets.
So we have to explain things that, if this match were to be held or this tournament were to be held in Europe, you don't have to explain. And there's no problem with that, right? I mean, so if we recognize that you come from a certain distance from behind and that you have to catch up, then it's good to recognize that you have to do that work. We're doing that work no matter what. Whether or not we're being asked to do that work or not, we're doing it. Because we're passionate, and we see that a lot of people are embracing that, right? I mean, we had close to 100 people show up 2 weeks ago, and we're going to go do that every month and until the games are there. When the games are there, we're going to do things as well. We ourselves are going to engage with corporations, with nations, with company event planners to do things during the World Cup.
It'll be the biggest World Cup ever. It'll have more aspects of culture, diversity, technology, music, food, all of that stuff is going to be bigger than it's ever been before.
And that's a very important point, right? I mean, so we've had some conversations with people who have nothing to do with soccer, where we basically said, look, I mean, soccer is an opportunity for a conversation, right? So some people talk about soccer diplomacy. What is soccer diplomacy? It's talking about soccer is talking about business, and is talking about culture. You can bring all these things together, right? And there are organizations and locations in the city that could do a wonderful job. They're slowly but surely gearing up. So I'm hopeful that still some of those, let's say, side elements to soccer are still going to happen so that we show ourselves as Houston, not only on the soccer front, but also on the culture front and on the business front.
I think that's going to happen. A lot of that's going to happen organically, too. But, I mean, it's a question of whether you want to take advantage of it if you're a business owner. But I think organically a lot is going to happen. I think there are going to be these indelible moments where, you know, people are taking their sons and daughters to games. Parents are. It's going to be remembered 20 years from now. These are moments that you'll never erase from your mind. This will be the significant World Cup to, like everybody in this room has one World Cup at one time period in their lives that they remember that opened the door to the whole thing. So mine was 74. It's a long time ago.
For me, 2014, the Percy goal in Salvador. So unforgettable.
No, but you knew of the World Cup before then.
So a little bit before. No, but and so you mentioned, right? I mean, so I'm looking here at my notes. Portugal, for example, has no business with Houston, right? So what a wonderful opportunity that you come here and play twice. And so for the business community to start thinking, okay, now is the time that we build business with Portugal, right? So it's a soccer story, it's a business story, and that's a Houston story.
Team Houston, Jan-Luc Blakborn. Let's give him a round of applause, everybody. Great stuff. If you're out and about on the town, you're on 290, pull off right now. Senate Avenue Brewing, the best in craft beer. Get out here tonight. It is a great spot. Great food. We've got a nice audience here. We're going to be pulling in a number of other people. We've got former Dynamo goalkeeper coach. He's worked with some of the best in Major League Soccer. Believe me, national team goalkeepers Tim Hanley will be here tonight. That's going to be a great interview. We also have coming up Ryan Pratt from Houston Christian University. So he will join us now. The only NCAA Division I program in Houston. U of H, Rice, come on, you got to get it together. You can't be doing World Cup parties over at Rice unless you have a men's soccer team. Come on, let's go. Get it together. You want a legacy? I'll give you a legacy piece. Get a men's program. NCAA Division I, U of H, Rice, wake up. All right, that's my rant for tonight, but it is a huge missed opportunity. Slip Sliders, 1802 bins down in the museum area. Get down there. Best in sliders. My favorite is the Shrimp Shack. Slip Sliders is exceptional. They've got all the proteins, beef, chicken, you name it, they have it. Slip Sliders, 1802 bins. Get down there. We'll take a break. More from Senate Avenue coming up. We got the World Cup here as well.
ESPN 97.5.
Glenn Davis here for the Daspit Law Firm, DaspitLaw.com. John Daspit and the Daspit Law Firm are personal injury attorneys ready to handle your case. If you get in a car, boat, motorcycle accident, work construction, drive an 18-wheeler, or work in a refinery, well, if you get in an accident, you need the expertise of the best in the business. The Daspit Law Firm, DaspitLaw.com. 713-CALL-NOW, 713-CALL-NOW, bilingual. The Daspit Law Firm, passionately pursuing justice for the injured, proud sponsors of Soccer Matters on ESPN 97.5.
Soccer Matters
on ESPN 97.5 and 97.9 HD2.
Brought to you by the Daspit Law Firm, DaspitLaw.com. Broadcasting live from the mobile Huntington Bank Studios, located at Senate Avenue Brewing Company in Jersey Village. Here's Glenn Davis.
All right, welcome back to Senate Avenue Brewing. Welcome back, everybody, as we continue on. By the way, presenting sponsor of Soccer Matters on ESPN 97.5. So many years getting soccer talk on the airwaves. John Daspit, the Daspit Law Firm, DaspitLaw.com, 713-CALL-NOW. So if you, well, nobody wants it to happen, but if you get in a car, boat, motorcycle accident, maybe you're working construction, driving an 18-wheeler, any of those things happen, well, you need a good personal injury attorney. You need the best. The best will work for you 24/7 nights and weekends. That is John Daspit and the Daspit Law Firm. Big thank you to John and his firm. Also, Nico's Greek and American Cafe, 3 locations, Woodlands, Beltway, and I-10, and also the original down in Montrose. You like Greek American food, souvlaki, gyro, lamb shank. Lamb shank's my favorite there. The great chicken soups, you name it. Dimitri and Nico's Greek and American Cafe. All right, with that, a big round of applause. One of the great coaches in Major League Soccer history when it comes to working with, developing goalkeepers. Wait till you hear the list of guys I mentioned. He is Tim Hanley, and Tim joins us now. Tim, thank you very much for coming.
Thanks, Glenn. Thanks for having me.
All right, so let's get into it. First off, you got to tell everybody about your current situation with the Dynamo, what went down there, what the prospects look like for you in the future, what your desires are.
So I finished my 3-year contract this year with the Dynamo. So I'm no longer with them, as many of you know. I wouldn't be here tonight if I was working down there. And I think a lot of people maybe misunderstand the position of a coach on a given team and what it's like, and it is always in transition. It is. If you want to be a professional coach, you have to essentially move. There's no way around it. You're going to move, and I've been with so many clubs in 26 years of MLS, and those first years with the San Jose Clash, some teams didn't have goalkeeper coaches. So I've been really fortunate to last a really long time, and I talked to Glenn earlier in the week. Pat runs the team in a way, and the GMs and the sporting directors and the presidents sort of pick staff nowadays. It's a little bit different than it used to be, but Pat brought me in to Columbus back in 2020. He was a big part of getting me to come to Columbus, and we won an MLS Cup and a Campiones Cup. And then he brought me here, and so I have 6 years of him kind of taking care of me, and so I'm grateful. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to work, because that's important. That's all I've really kind of wanted to do. So now I'm kind of transitioning. These things are never easy. I'll stay out here in Texas with my partner Kim. I'm going to start working on a online or a virtual goalkeeping thing where I coach goalkeeper coaches all around the country. And I love teaching. I'm 65, going to be 66. My body is really, really beat up from coaching, from smashing balls for years and years and years, and I hurt.
Let me just intervene. By the way, Tim was an ex-professional goalkeeper as well.
Yeah, and I will. And I'm just kind of.
You heard a little from that too.
I hurt for some of that. Plus, I've landed on the ground pretty hard, flying off my Ducati. So I've both broke clavicles.
We can tell
ribs.
that story.
Man.
So I was up in the TV booth doing a game last year, and I saw Tim come out, and he's.
I kind of walk like that.
He looked like an old man. I mean, I didn't know what happened to him. I thought it might be his knee or a back or something. And ultimately, he tells me the other day that he had to roll his Ducati over on Kirby. He had a motorcycle. Fortunately, he's okay. But you broke?
Clavicle, 9 and 12 ribs, scapula, foot.
Jeez.
Yeah, I think that kind of covers it. Kind of even out of not the first time. The other side I did in California. So the motorcycles I love. Don't tell my mom. She's probably listening.
But it's over, right?
No, I'll get another one someday.
Okay.
Maybe
country roads.
Live in California where it's a little bit going out here, as you all know, on these freeways. It's absolutely madness. So no,
it's a death wish, I think.
Yeah, maybe. So, I was in a lot of pain. That was June this year, and so I was kind of beat up, which may be why they let me go. They don't need crazies. They need real coaches. But it's interesting.
Am I a crazy?
You're kind of crazy. Yeah, I've noticed that about you. I've known
what
Glenn
a crazy
for
cat.
So long. What a
crazy
It's
cat.
really incredible.
Well, I want to tell you about Tim here for a second. He mentioned Columbus. They won a cup. Eloy Room, who plays for Curaçao, was the goalkeeper that Tim worked with when they won the title. Also, Andrew Tarbell was there. Listen to this list of goalkeepers, and I'm going to whip through them because we want to get back to Tim.
And I'll say this, too, but Andrew, as much as he had a kind of a rough go here, but in that 2020 season, which was very difficult for everyone around the world, obviously, but soccer was a really interesting thing. Andrew played 2 playoff games for us, and he won the Eastern Conference Final on his own, pitched 2 shutouts. He was incredible, and I actually drafted him in San Jose like a long, long time ago. So he's a favorite of mine, and he's probably better than I think he was kind of – it was a hard road here a little bit for him. But, yeah, one of my favorites.
So check these goalkeepers out. Obviously, he worked with Pat Onstad. Kevin Hartman, one of the all-time greats in Major League Soccer, El Gato. Tally Hall, Tyler Derrick. I watched him single-handedly turn Tyler Derrick into a man in goal. I mean, he was just a kid when he was working. I watched that. I saw that whole development there. David Bingham, Tarbell, Andre Blake, Jamaica still could make the World Cup. John McCarthy, Matt Freese, U.S.
Yes,
goalkeeper. Tell us about Matt.
He was with us in Philadelphia, and it was quite a cool group with Andre Blake, our starter, and McCarthy backed him up and had a great run up until really the final Open Cup final here that we lost to you guys, and I think we made a poor coaching decision. I'm not going to say it was my decision because it wasn't, but we started Andre instead of John.
Can't you take us deeper into that?
Taking it all the way.
Can we drop names?
Can we what?
Drop names?
Well,
what was the decision?
The decision there to start Andre was Jim Curtin, and Jim's wonderful, great coach, but that's a real struggle in those tournaments and Open Cups is like, do you go with the guy that got you there? And Nashville did it. Nashville won last year, and they played their number 2 guy the entire time. So John McCarthy was there, Andre Blake, and then Matt Freese was coming out of Harvard. They said he wanted to sign him at Man U, but he was an incredible athlete, and it was really fun to kind of work with him in that particular group of goalkeepers.
How about him blossoming with the national team now? I mean, he's in the pole position,
yes,
right?
He's going to play. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
What have you seen that's a little different now since your gap of coaching him to where he is now?
Just the games, mature goalkeeper. Rob Vartugian, I probably pronounced that wrong, in New York is a great coach, so he was able to get back under him in a way. And this sounds kind of not very humble, but it requires a good, I think, coach looking at everything you do every single day. And I think if you played, it makes a big difference because these guys will do something on the field or, make a mistake or do something, and I know exactly how they're feeling. And so how you teach and find that teachable moment, it depends a lot on what they're going. John Conway, if I talked to John Conway after a game, he would have ripped my head off. If I didn't talk to Pat Onstad immediately after a game and dissect everything that happened, he would have ripped my head off. So each guy is you kind of feel your way through
and you
their
spend
personalities.
So much time with them. I mean, you're around them constantly.
Well, the goalies,
yeah. You're around these guys.
It's a real interesting dynamic because there's stuff going on. Now we integrate much more than we've ever done because they do more with their feet, obviously, in the run of the game. So we're integrated in a lot of exercises now. Where in the past they just sent us in the corner and kind of do your thing and then come join us when we're going to scrimmage or whatever, back in the olden days. So now my job is to sort of, depending on the periodization for the week, was to kind of get them ready for the exercises that they were going to be involved in that training session because all I wanted them was to play well in training, play really, really well. So you do everything you can to kind of get them ready.
Great stuff here. Tim Hanley, former Dynamo goalkeeper coach, but one of the legendary coaches in Major League Soccer, has been around it. I wanted to ask you a little bit about personality and who might have been the most, I'm going to say this in a delicate way, the most challenging goalkeeper that you had to work with personality-wise?
My first answer is going to be Joe Cannon.
Legendary goalkeeper also.
Yeah, there's very few people. I think there's three goalkeepers in the history of the league. I might be wrong now because maybe Andre has done it. and maybe the Burkett guys done it, but there's 3 guys in the league that have won the Goalkeeper Year Award 2 different times.
Coached.
And Zach Thornton is one, but I coached Pat won it twice, and Joe Cannon won it twice, which is quite an achievement. It's a little bit, sometimes the award's a little funky because it comes a year late or whatever. But, so Joe was really super challenging. He won, can I tell a quick story?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Joe's
floor is yours.
Joe's angry that he's not getting called in because he was playing outstanding. And I told him, I said, you looked at the guys that Bruce Arena and the Bob, who they're bringing in some real stable personalities. And Joe's jumping in the stands, high-fiving, doing silly things. And I told him, well, you keep doing these silly things, you're not going to get called in. And so he didn't talk to me for about 4 days. And then he called up on an off day and asked if he could do a training session with me at this little school that we both actually were raised near back in Los Altos Hills back in the day. And so we trained for a while, got it off his chest, and got called up and played in the Confederations Cup. So Joe was challenging, but he's a lovely guy, wonderful guy. My last couple of years here in Houston with Steve Clark was really challenging for me. It was very difficult. He's a different kind of personality, I guess at his particular age, similar to when I had Pat Onstad, you don't change them very much. You kind of get him ready for a game, and whatever technique he was bringing, I had to deal with. And there's some things that were going on there that it was
so
hard.
In that case, how much have you had to change over the scope and the lens of your career? How much have you had to change some of your coaching methods as the game evolved?
I'm hoping I personally haven't changed at all. I think I have the same approach from day one that I've always had, which is a little bit loose, a little bit calm, trying to take some of that off their shoulders. I never yell. I've only gotten kind of mad a couple times.
I'm going to try to get you to yell by the time the segment's over. You're the most calm guy.
I know, it's kind of, and I think that bugs management.
Really?
I think so.
They want a screamer?
Yeah, I think because I've had comments like maybe your Zen isn't the best way to do this, and that's just me. I'm sorry. I want to talk to these guys when they're older and they have kids. I don't kiss their ass. I'm not their friend.
Yeah.
But my methods have remained the same forever. How you deal every single day with one of it's usually 3. I would deal with this person in a certain way because I know what kind of floats his boat. This guy I have to deal, he wants something. And then the rookie, you kind of hammer the third and try to get him good with a little bit tougher. You're, kind of tougher on these guys where the starter for that week, he's going to play. But if the 2 isn't ready to go and I've mistreated him in some way or haven't been honest with him and he's not ready to play on a Saturday night, I'm in big trouble.
Tim Hanley, he has coached all the greats in Major League Soccer when it comes to goalkeeping. This is pretty fascinating. I look out in the youth community a lot, and I see hours of handling and making sure you're handling the ball clean. I mean, at the end of the day, it's keeping balls out of the back of the net. Any advice for goalkeeper coaches working with youth players?
Well, I'm going to try to make them pay for this advice right now. So this is a freebie.
Give them a freebie, though. You got to put it out
I
there.
would say I think it's important that you realize that the age, particularly of the particular goalkeeper, a young person can't jump up and touch the bar. So we're not going to do a lot of crosses. There's not a lot of crosses in their game, and they're not going to be called on to do certain things physically that they can't do. So catching the ball and kicking it and learning how to fall down so it doesn't hurt. Technique is massive, but until they get older and strong enough to do some of the other things that you're going to do, you just kind of have to calm down and sometimes take the camera off yourself. Don't even use a camera because that changes the dynamic of everyone. I've never got a camera on my sessions. That's for people trying to get the next job.
You coming back next week on the show?
I can.
We got to do a second segment. This is good stuff here, right? Tim Hanley, let's give him a round of applause, everybody. One of the all-time great goalkeeping coaches in Major League Soccer. I got the names to prove it here. Don't worry about that. And he's a big music fan, by the way. He only listens to my show to hear the break music. That's what he said. All right, we're going to take a break here. A reminder, Senate Avenue Brewing, if you're out and about on the town, come on out. The best in craft beer. You got the Bulgogi Bowl, if I'm saying that correctly, tonight. That will rival some Vietnamese restaurants in this town, because I've tried that one. Tim, you're going to have that on the way out. Tim's also got a jersey and a ball that we're going to raffle off later, so the mayor, Andrew Mitchum's going to have you guys all sign a piece of paper. We got some things to kick out to you. And then we do want to remind you, Soccer Matters ESPN 97.5 is brought to you by John Daspit and the Daspit Law Firm. We'll take a break. We'll come back. More to come.
ESPN 97.5. Listening to Soccer Matters
on ESPN 97.5 and 97.9 HD2.
Brought to you by the Daspit Law Firm, DaspitLaw.com. Broadcasting live from the mobile Huntington Bank Studios, located at Senate Avenue Brewing Company in Jersey Village. Here's Glenn Davis.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Senate Avenue Brewing here in Jersey Village. We have the mayor, Andrew Mitchum. He is... want you to write your name on these pieces of paper, because we're going to do some raffles for some different things here tonight to keep everybody engaged. 713-780-3776, streaming at ESPN975.com. By the way, our YouTube channel, we're paying a lot of attention to it now. A lot more people are signing up. So YouTube Soccer Matters, Twitter and Instagram at Glenn Davis Sock, Facebook, Glenn Davis, and believe it or not, TikTok. And I mean, I never thought I'd be on TikTok, but it's actually getting a lot of traction. So go to those places. We have Ryan Pratt, the head coach of Houston Christian University, coming up later. We've got Earl Barrett, who played in the Premier League for Aston Villa, coming in. And we got hats, T-shirts, and the best in craft beer here for all of you. Senate Avenue Brewing kills it when it comes to craft beer. All right, we're going to do some supporters groups talk now. And, of course, just a reminder to everybody, Houston, Texas has got ridiculous amounts of supporters groups. Some of them we know about, many we don't know about. There's Brighton, Hove, and Albion. There's every team covered. Mexican League teams, Mexican national team, Pancho Villa's Army. You got Libres y Locos from Monterrey, Tigres. So it's everywhere. So we've got two great supporters group representatives here. First, we got Juan from the Surge. Jonathan. Sorry.
Nah, you're good.
Jonathan from the Surge. Round of applause for the Surge. And we got Shannon from Texian Army. All right. So simple question to both of you. I'm going to start with you, Jonathan. Just platform for you to talk about the Surge, what it is you guys are about, how much of it is social, how much of it is pressure that you want to put on a team healthy, how much of it is support. Go for it.
So we felt like there was room in Houston for a group that blends tradition with new energy. We respect the supporter culture that was already here, but we also wanted to build something that feels accessible. Especially for newer fans who may not know how to plug in the supporter section. A lot of people want to chant. A lot of people want to go and be a part of the away days and be a part of something that feels organized. They just don't always know where to start, and we want to be that entry point for them. All right.
So you're heavy into recruiting. You want to recruit more members, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's the end game. At the end of the day, we want a huge wall of supporters groups.
Yeah.
People, right?
Exactly. Yes, sir. One thing we really want people to understand is that the Surge is open to everyone. You don't have to know every chant. You don't have to have been here since 2006. If you love Houston and you love the Dynamo, then the Surge is the place. Like, we want you to be a part of
Don't
the
be
Surge.
intimidated. Don't be scared. Come be a part of our group.
Yes.
All right, Shannon, Texian Army.
So T.A.'s been here since 2006. We were the original group. I've been a part of them for about 9 years now. Same kind of concept. We just want to fill it. We want to fill that section. We want everybody to feel included. We've got everybody from all walks of life, and so it's kind of nice to have that balance. We traditionally, having those traditions within the team, within the club, as well as within our group, tailgating, things like that. We just continue to try to build that as much as we can.
Do you guys, Jonathan, have dialogue with the club? I mean, how much interaction
No, yeah,
do
for
you have with
sure.
the club?
I know a couple of the group members. They always have this Hustle Town meeting. They meet up with most of the hierarchy of the club, and they talk about, I guess, new ways on how to improve the culture within the club, especially in the support section, especially in Hustle Town.
What do they say?
Unfortunately, I haven't been a part of those meetings,
okay.
right? So I wouldn't be able to give you any insight to that. But I know
do they try to help you with your numbers?
Yeah, for sure. I know they gave like this thing out that if you recruit enough people over to Hustle Town, that the price of the ticketing would have decreased by like a couple hundred. So it just depends on how many people you would recruit to Hustle Town, and then they'll give you like a little discount on purchasing tickets and stuff like that.
Can you give out, for anybody who's listening tonight that might want to join the group, there's a great social aspect to it too, but give out your kind of website where people could sign up if they want tonight. I want to get you a couple members tonight.
No, yeah, for sure.
$25 a head.
Yeah, exactly. So we have two tiers. We have the orange tier, which is $25. That which includes the member scarf, a handful of tickets. It also gives you exclusive. It comes with a koozie as well. Before I forget, but it also comes with exclusive perks. Dibs on supporter section tickets. Dibs on away day trips, such as Frisco and Austin, with bus accessibility as well. And then you have the silver membership, which is $75, which includes our season's jersey, the Surge jersey, which it just gives you a way of like how to represent us.
But I'm thinking there's going to be people that don't need the bait line either. They just want to be a part of a great group. You guys have fun. You drink beer. You're watching a great soccer game in a beautiful stadium, great surface. Shannon, tell us about the Texian Army, how you recruit, and what kind of dialogue do you have with the club?
So we're on social media with Instagram, with Facebook, with as well as Twitter. I guess what now is X, but it's for like actual membership. It's $25 a year. That includes, again, same kind of thing, access to like away games. Priority things like that, member shirt. We try to recruit not only via the social media and by word of mouth, but also at tailgates. So if you come bring a friend, hey, if you want to do this is what you'll get with it, like doing that. But again, the idea is we want to build the culture. We know what the culture is within the groups. We want to build that and expand it through everything. And what he was talking about with the meetings, we meet once a month with the leadership of within the Dynamo, so anybody from ticketing to, stadium, and we discuss things that maybe have happened the game before. What can we do better? What happened with security? Did this go on? So we're still all independent. We all do our own thing. We all have our own, own setup and everything like that. But it's it's more of a collaborative with us, with our section, with security, with the stadium and things like that. So we want to make it as fun and as safe as we can, but we also want to make it as big and as loud as we can at the same time.
By the way, you have to, for full disclosure, you're a part of another group too. You better give it a shout.
Yeah, I'm also part of the Houston Red Army, Manchester United supporter group here in Houston.
Let the good times roll.
Yeah. It's always. But we go to our bar on Houston Avenue, and it's a great time. So please, if anybody wants to come out and check out a game and stuff, it's a lot of fun.
All right, what do you guys learn when you watch? I mean, look, we're going to have some of the best supporters groups in the world coming here for the World Cup. The Dutch fans, the German fans. I mean, these are soccer cultures beyond belief. What do we learn from them? What do you guys learn from them when you're watching Manchester United games or watching a game from Europe?
I mean, if you're watching the games from Europe, watching the games from, La Liga, Premier League, Bundesliga, they're obviously TIFO is one of the things that we try to do here. They do it on a whole different level, but we learn kind of techniques. What did they do? How did they do this? So it's their banner. They have this banner. They have this flag. So you try to kind of take ideas, but make them your own at the same time. So fit them into your group the way that we do.
Also involve community. I think that's a big part of a supporters group. You want to get the community of Houston or any other really suburb around the area. You want them to get all and be a part of not just your group, but share your same love for the Dynamo. And like she said, get them involved in creating TIFOs and making those memories.
Do you guys realize that players, coaches, they come and go? They come and go. Club never leaves. Supporters groups hopefully don't leave because you want generational turnover. I mean, I'm assuming there's people in your groups that are bringing their kids.
Yeah.
That are one day going to be
Dynamo supporters.
Yeah.
They're
Season ticket holders. They're going to want to carry on like my mom and dad, having a fun time at the game, right? Do you have a lot of that?
Yeah, actually, we like I said, we want to be. We want to build that accessibility to everybody, whether you're new to soccer, whether you're bringing your kids, whether you're being a long-time supporter. Like, we want you to be involved within not just the Surge, but with all of the Dynamo pretty much and everything that we have going on.
Shannon?
We have members that have had kids. We've got a couple that have gotten married and they met within the group.
Gotten married.
So they got married
Any
within the group.
In that group? I'm heading for that. Can I join the Texian army tonight?
But like they're bringing their kids, and it's great to see the generation continue to build and to see our members that have kids bring them in and have them.
That's crazy because I remember way back, this is before your time, the Tampa Bay Rowdies had a section, and they had it was in the old sombrero in the NASL, and they told these stories about how many people met in these groups and ended up getting married, and a lot of college kids as well.
Yeah, so it's really great to see the groups, all of the groups grow, not only from people that are obviously of drinking age and can do party on that end, but also bringing their families in and having them bring their friends in and things like that. So it's great to see that.
So is it all nice, or when it's not going well, are we going to put healthy pressure on the players, or do we have to behave and just be nice and empathetic?
No, of course not. I would, like you said, healthy pressure.
Don't you feel that's a part of helping the team and the club be successful?
Especially after the 2 years that we've had, the first 2 years under this new regime, we saw some big heights, especially with the coming of Hector Herrera, making the playoffs, going all the way to the Western Conference. Then the second year, I think we tallied the most points within our entire history, right? And then the unfortunate what happened last season. I know most of us were pretty upset of how we let go of Mikael, how we didn't brought
so,
in up.
Okay, so when you let go of Mikael and Brooklyn Reigns, you as a group, and you too, Shannon, your group, are you guys saying, well, where's our ambition going? We just got rid of two of our best players. Are we trying to win an MLS Cup, or are we just appeasing an owner and selling players so that he can cash in a little bit instead of build something that's long-term? That's always been my issue with the Houston Dynamo. I don't see us ascending. I don't see us creating a culture both in the front office that goes out and like a stock is going up. It flatlines all the time, and it's like we're throwing stuff at the wall.
I think part of it is not understanding their decision-making. So they make the decision, And okay, it's a business, we get that. But at the same time, like from a fan standpoint, a supporter standpoint, we see what happens when these decisions are made, but we have no idea. We see the consequences of it, but we never see like why. What was the thought process of that player being traded? That player being sold off. That's the biggest.
I know what it is.
Well, so
cash.
Well, that's the thing is like, is there like
called cash?
Okay, so you sell a player, that's great, but you don't have anybody to take that space. You don't have anybody to build off of
saying,
the depth.
what is that's what it says. What does that say to an overall fan base? And then you wonder why nobody's coming to the games the way we would want them to come.
That's part of that transparency. Like we want that. Yeah. We would love to have that transparency. Give us a little bit more of understanding of other than just like, okay, we got that part.
And we can't be told that, we had to sell Mikael, or we had. No, you didn't. You didn't have to sell either of those guys. By the way, now Artur's injured, and this would have been a prime time for Brooklyn Reigns to even mature more as a soccer player. All right, let's give a round of applause. Shannon, Jonathan, great job, everybody. Thank you very much for coming out tonight, Shannon. We appreciate it. Jonathan, thank you very much as well. Senate Avenue Brewing off of 290. Senate Avenue exit. By the way, it's Surge, Texian Army. Talk to them if you want to join their group. They did an excellent job, both of them. Thank you very much. We got more to come here tonight. If Earl Barrett is in the house, we will get there. He is. Earl Barrett is in the house. We're going to talk some Premier League, and we're going to talk some player development with Earl Barrett. I want to remind you, Hugh O'Connor's Pub, I-10 in the Marquee Entertainment Center. Great spot, home of the Liverpool Supporters Group. Raise your hand, Ian Veery. Ian will be on in the final segment representing Liverpool. Victor Valenchek, Barcelona, Houston, Kules. I have to say it right. I had to get you to say it. He will be on as well. So we're going to have more supporters talk. We're going to talk some Premier League with Earl Barrett. He was here 2 weeks ago. I mean, I'm going to have to start paying him big money to get him out here ever again. Take a break. Senate Avenue Brewing. Off at 290, 16,000 Dillard. The best in craft beer, fresh food, Belogi Bowl tonight. Fantastic effort by everybody coming out tonight. Thank you very, very much for coming out here tonight. All right, take a break. Mercedes is in the house. Jim Siemens.
Houston's only FM sports station, ESPN 97.5.
Soccer Matters.
Quick shot, score! The U.S. with Dempsey. For Fabregas, who looks for Iniesta, who's onside. Spain score. Entonces el centro, remate de gol. Gol de oro. Gol de oro. Gol de Oribe. Gol.
This is Soccer Matters
on ESPN 97.5 and 97.9 HD2.
Brought to you by the Daspit Law Firm, DaspitLaw.com. Broadcasting live from the mobile Huntington Bank Studios, located at Senate Avenue Brewing Company in Jersey Village. Here's Glenn Davis.
All right, welcome back. LamontBrands.com if you want the Soccer Matters hat. It's a beautiful hat. Soccer Matters hats at LamontBrands.com. Senate Avenue Brewing. Big thank you for this man with the USA. You're ready for the Olympics, I think. And maybe the World Cup. What's on the back? Mike Eruzione. So I went to Boston University, and I lived on a floor with Jim Craig, the famous goaltender. And those guys were all there. Mike Eruzione, Jack O'Callahan. The year before I got there on scholarship to play soccer, they were the NCAA champions at Boston University. So there you go. Yeah. Those guys, I went out with them once. Let me just tell you, once. That's all. I wanted to go out with them. Never again. 713-780-3776. Senate Avenue Brewing, the best in craft beer. We got a great turnout here tonight. I want to thank everybody for seeing former youth player of mine, Alan Brewer, over there back in the day. We got a whole bunch of great people here tonight that are really familiar and great followers of the show, and I thank you very much. And Senate Avenue thanks you as well. So don't forget to tip the wonderful bartenders. So Andrew Mitchum, I want you to hear this real fast. Kirk Helbert says, when is Senate Avenue Brewing releasing the Soccer Matters beer. I'm hoping it's a refreshing Kolsch or Czech Pilsner. That's what he wants. Okay. All right, let's not waste any time. Earl Barrett played in the Premier League, Aston Villa. Need I say more?
No, there you go. Thank you.
He also represented England on a number of occasions, also played against Brazil in an England uniform, which is pretty amazing. He was here 2 weeks ago. His wife didn't want to come back again, so I was worried if she did. So we're taking Earl's time, but I want to take you right off the bat, just the current Aston Villa and what they're doing in the Premier League under Unai Emery.
They're doing really well. I think we had a similar situation in like the mid-90s. When I was playing there, I signed for Villa halfway through the season. Then the following season, we came second to Man United in the league. And in the end, it was like 2 points. We were up, 2 points. They were up. But in the end, because of their experience, they actually won the league by about 10 points. Now, I hope that doesn't happen this time round. I hope Aston Villa certainly will get one of the top two positions. I do think Arsenal will win it. And then I've got to probably side with Manchester City to win the second spot. And then hopefully Aston Villa can keep in third. But I do think Chelsea have got something to say in this. I think, the other teams, not quite as dominant, not quite as consistent with their performances. But now Chelsea have got Cole Palmer back. I do think they will have something to say as well.
Yeah, new manager as well, doing very well.
There you go, yes. Yeah.
Talking to Earl Barrett. Now, the other thing I want to tell you about Earl when it comes to community, Earl is involved in player development here in Houston with the Rise Soccer Club. So, like I mentioned before, this was tonight a real cross-section of everything soccer in Houston, from supporters groups to people in player development to former pro coaches to former pro players. So just give me an overview from your perspective, your lens. You grew up very, very differently when it came to player development in England. Just give me a broad perspective, a general perspective of what goes on here in America. And listen, pay to play, it's all a part of it. We know that. So we have to accept those things, development to winning, pressure. Your thoughts?
So you want my perspective on America or England?
On the well, you can compare it, but now that you've been here a while, you're developed. Maybe start with here in America, the player, the coaching, the setup.
So, I mean, we spoke about it before. That there's a perception that the older players should have the best coaches, but it should be the other way around. Really, it should be the younger players have the best coaches, because at those fundamental stages, the players need to be at a high level with their skills. Now, what I see over here is that players play the game, young players play the game, and sometimes it's more about the winning than it is the skills. And so because of that, I go to games and I see players, the ball comes to them and they just bash the ball as hard as they can. And even as a little kid, that's not good play. But people say, great, well done, that's really good. It's actually not good play. I'd rather see them get on the ball, lose the ball, and the opposition scores, than just bash the ball, because I don't really know what they're getting from that. So that's like a panic situation. But if they get the ball and they try and take people on, no matter where it is, now they're trying to execute the skills that they've learned in training. So I think that's a massive difference. In the UK, that's what they concentrate on. So consequently, when they get to the older ages, the skill side of it is kind of set. It's just done. And I remember seeing an under 15s team where a defender got the ball pretty much to the side of his goal, but on his goal line. I don't know what he did. Under 15s defender, not an attacker. He danced around the ball, did some magic, turned, got out of it, passed out, and they end up in the opposition half by passing the ball. But he had the skills to get out of it. Now, that's at under 15. So to be able to do that, now when you get to that age, it's a case of limit danger, don't take risks, so on and so forth. But he obviously fancies himself, and he thought, yeah, I've got skills, I can get out of this. And so he got out of that with his own personal skill.
But his coach has to encourage this, right?
Without doubt. But, and then obviously after that, there's got to be a way of playing and so on and so forth. But, I'll say younger ages, they need to learn skills. It's not just about kicking the ball, kick and rush. It's got to be skills. And if you get through that, and yes, listen, let's not make no mistake. We all like to win. Kids like to win. It's part of the game, because if kids don't win, they probably lose sight of the game and fall out of love with the game.
Well, you want them to win enough. You also want them to lose.
Win enough.
Because you have to have the ability to then look at a game you've lost and learn from it.
Yeah.
And you do want disappointment, because disappointment's a part of player development. But I would just say to that, the balance is important, right? Like, you win every game, you need disappointment, and that's still a hard sell to parents.
Yeah, adversity, and I think the best players, they will go through the most difficult times on the field, off the field, but still want to play and still want to execute what they've learned in training, or try and execute what they've learned in training. So that adversity thing is really important.
Do you find it, and we're talking to Earl Barrett, former Aston Villa Rise Soccer Club, are you astounded like I am when we look at the broad picture of America, the amount of participants playing the game, the amount of money thrown at youth development and the sport, changing hands every day, and we're not creating and developing more attacking players? Like, shouldn't we have 3 Christian Pulisic's on the national team now instead of just 1?
Possibly, but I've said what I've said about the kids.
I'm putting him in a tough place because he's out there working the community. Look, but I appreciate you answering these questions.
I've said what I said about kids, and if generally all you guys are coaches, and you're all coaching in a way that kids dribble, take people on. If that happens across the board, then you'll get more Christian Pulisic's, without doubt. But I also think that, as well as all that, the system needs to help these Christian Pulisic's go higher. And a part of the country as well, or the soccer industry over here, is I feel players will do this. Sorry, clubs will do this with players. So I don't want the player might need to go there to do this, but no, I don't want. I can't do this because I need to win. And if I give them one on that team, they will win, and they'll make us look silly. So there's got to be like this. But it's so fractious.
Do you see that? Do you see the best players being pushed to the top of the pyramid here in Houston? So that would be MLS next and the Dynamo. Because I hear from people around the country, and the Dynamo have a lot of talent. I watched 2 of them today playing for the under-17 national team. They have talent, but they don't get into the first team. I think and the other kids are seeing them not advancing.
Yeah, I think it does this. As opposed to this, it does this. And then they may get to the top.
Yeah.
And then you might get something out of him. But, as I say, I think, to me, when I was 15 years old...
so you're around men, right?
Right. So, and then
around men.
I was playing, let's say I was playing for Dynamo 2. At that age, I'm 15, 16 years old. I didn't play against another Dynamo 2 team. I played against men. We played against and I was at Manchester City. I was playing against semi-professional players. So you know what? You're going to get your ass kicked a little bit, physically, mentally, soccer-wise. But it was the test. It was the adversity that helped me think, oh, wow. I'm at Manchester City, but it don't mean you're all that. You got to prove. You got to prove it. Mm-hmm. So that adversity made me go, oh, all right. I need to step up. I need to be able to improve physically, technically, tactically, but also I need to win. I need to win my battle. And so I don't see that here. I see, Dynamo 2 players playing against other Pro 2 teams, if you like.
Yeah.
Whereas So listen, to start with, that's great. But a certain stage of their development, they need to be playing against a semi-pro team, older semi-pro team, where the players are probably better than them. And from there, they adapt or they don't adapt, and that's what develops for me. Is what develops.
Is the youth game in America taking the adversity side out of it a little bit too much? Because there's.
I think when you're talking top level players at pro clubs, potentially yes. Top level player at top. Listen, I'll mention the name. Who I don't know a lot about this guy. I went to see Dynamo 2 like 4 weeks ago. And there's a guy called Enrique Correa. Wow, a midfield player, and he's something like an 05 or an 06, which will make him what 19, 20, something like that. I was like, wow. And I went to watch a player who's gone there from our team, but my eyes were fixed on him. The way he went about the game, his intensity, his aggression, his technical ability on the ball, unbelievable. And so for me, when I look at a player like that, I'm thinking, right, okay, great. He's learning, and he needs to play. He needs to go and play for a semi-professional team in Mexico or just somewhere. So he's playing. He's learning his trade through that.
But we're seeing kids in Houston. They're looking to bypass what's going on here and try to get to Europe and get trials and train in Europe.
But you get this the homegrown rule?
Yeah.
The homegrown rule basically stops players going anywhere else. That's the homegrown rule. So if there's a player in my kind of parish, if you like, I go, right, I think you get 30 players in your team, and then you can have 5 from outside. So I'll just go, right, okay. And I put them on this list. So you as a player, you can't go and do anything anywhere else. So I don't get that. Because now
it also stunts the investment in the academies of pro teams, because if they know they can keep people here, then you might be less willing to invest in them. You may not go get the best coaches. You may not come up with the best vision and pathway. For all we know, we don't know if the Dynamo really want to move kids to the first team, frankly, because they get a lot of South American players that then get parked at the second team, and they're the first ones that are going up to the first team. Every one of these kids sees that.
Yeah. And
then they got to say to themselves, do I really have a shot?
Yeah. Well, look, I think, as I said, the rules don't help. And I think, in the UK, if
we got a lot of rules, that's for sure.
Oh, my goodness. you in the UK, again, from club to club, let's Manchester City, Manchester United. So young players been with Manchester City for 5 years, 6 years. They grew up in Manchester City, but for some reason, whatever reason, that player wants to move to Manchester United as a 18, 19-year-old. Manchester City don't want to let that player go, but it's kind of almost a done deal now. Through the rules and regulations of the FA, Manchester United will owe Manchester City money for the years that Manchester City have developed them. And so they get something. All right, it might not be millions, but they get something to say, we've done our job with that player, we need our compensation. Absolutely. Whereas if that was happening here, maybe it'd be a little bit easier to kind of to maneuver and get players in different places. So, but as I say, the rules don't help.
He's Earl Barrett, Aston Villa, Rise Soccer Club. Real quick, Earl, how has the right back position changed? You were a right back. What do you got to do in the modern game now? That's different
today,
from your day.
Yeah, today there's a lot of attacking, of course. You have to be like an attacker to be a right back these days. But as a defender, but look, I'll still say that you've got to defend. As a defender, you have to. Your main job is defending, not attacking. So you've got all these unbelievably gifted defenders who attack and cross the ball. That wasn't my game. My game was defending, and I defended with my life, and it really means something. And the manager used to say to me, Earl, give the ball to the people who can play. So that's all right, coach. So that's what I used to do, because I get the ball Glenn, you have it. You go and take it. You go and pass it to whoever. You go and put somebody through. But that was my job, and I knew where I stood with that. And occasionally I'll get a bit giddy and do too much on the ball, and then the manager would kick me ass. But in generally, I kind of knew where I was, and I'd got the ball, give it to the people who can play, and then we go from there.
Let's give it up for Earl Barrett. Thank him for coming out here tonight. Earl, thank you so much as always. We really appreciate it.
Anytime.
Earl Barrett, former Aston Villa, played in the Premier League, and now doing the work on the fields with youth players in Houston. That's a good thing for all of us to know. So thank you for that, Earl. Rise Soccer Club as well. We'll give them the shout-out as well. He's Earl Barrett. All right, we'll take a break here. Reminder, Slip Sliders, 1802 Bins, down near the zoo, down near the museums. Thursday, we're airing the 94 World Cup film at the Museum of Fine Arts. So if you want to join us down there on Thursday, we will have the 94 film. Now, that's a big one because if everybody remembers, 94, the only reason we got the World Cup in the U.S., it was contingent upon starting in Pro League in 96 because the Pro Leagues were really struggling at those times. So that'll be a good one. 94, the final was Brazil-Italy. And but it'll be fun to watch that one based on what we know is coming in June. All right, we're going to take a break here. Senate Avenue Brewing, 16,000 Dillard. Awesome crowd. Thanks, everybody, for coming out. Makes me feel like we're doing something special here tonight. We'll take a break from Senate Avenue Brewing.
ESPN 97.5. Soccer Matters
on ESPN 97.5 and 97.9 HD2.
Brought to you by the Daspit Law Firm, DaspitLaw.com. Broadcasting live from the mobile Huntington Bank Studios, located at Senate Avenue Brewing Company in Jersey Village. Here's Glenn Davis.
Big thank you to everybody coming out here tonight, Senate Avenue Brewing. We're not done yet. We got a lot to go here. We got some gifts to give away. And we're going to keep this fired up. By the way, before we get to our next two guests here, the average valuation of a Major League Soccer team is $767 million. There are now 5 teams that are worth $1 billion plus. Inter Miami at 1.45, LAFC at 1.4, the Galaxy at 1.17 billion, Atlanta is over $1 billion. And so is New York City FC. The Dynamo come in at $580 million, and if we're led to believe that they were bought for $400 million, when said owner is going to sell the team, he's going to cash in at the end and make some money. So I just want to kind of lay that out there. The Dynamo were 21 out of 30 in Major League Soccer in valuation. Okay? So that's some interesting information. By the way, there's a Women's World Cup next summer, too. 500 days away from that, and we're right in and around 121 days towards the World Cup in 2026. So it's exciting times in Houston, Texas for all of us with the World Cup and the likes of Germany, et cetera, coming here. All right, we're switching gears now. We're keeping it Houston-related. We're switching gears to college soccer. Our only NCAA Division I men's program in Houston. You heard my shout-out before about Rice and U of H. Come on, get with the program. Get a men's program.
That's right. Help us out.
Yeah, it would be great for you guys. Yeah, you would probably want that.
We would.
So joining us now, he is the head coach of Houston Christian University. It used to be Houston Baptist. It is Ryan. And we got two Ryans here. Your player. Introduce your player for me, Ryan.
Yeah, we have one of our senior forwards, Ryan Okarai, to my left. He's joining us here tonight as well.
Perfect. And Ryan Pratt is the head coach. Ryan Okarai had 9 goals, first team all-conference for HCU. I asked him if I was taking him away from his studies. He smiled. He said no. Just let's start with you, Ryan. Just talk about the season this year, the accomplishment. You guys got to the conference tournament. You play in the Ohio Valley Conference.
Yes, sir.
You win that game. You go to the NCAA tournament, 1 game away from it, and it went to penalty kicks.
Yeah, so, the overall season, I think we had, a great season. I feel like the boys worked hard, and we deserved more than what we got in the end. Losing on penalties is not fun for any team, but, I think we deserved more than what we got, but, I think it's a good kind of, I can take the good from it. It was a good thing that it happened. Everyone's looking forward to next season. Last year we were same position, conference final, lost. This year, a step closer, penalties. Only way to go out is win it next year, huh? Or this coming year.
There you go. Now, you're a grad student, but you're back next year, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, so that's good news. 9 goals on the season is a nice outlay for a forward. We like that. What type of striker are you?
I think
I always like asking.
You should ask me first.
Should I? Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Coach, tell us what type of striker.
I want to hear his thoughts. Actually,
okay.
Well, I would
Pressure's
describe
on.
myself, or how I know Coach would describe me as, a big, powerful forward. If a through ball's played against a defender, 9 times out of 10, I'm getting to that ball.
So you're a big threat behind defenses.
Yeah, I think clinical in the box, taking my chances when they come. I think all those would describe me as a forward.
I like that.
There you go.
Want to add to that?
No, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there. He's very difficult to chase down in the channels, and if we can get him isolated in 1-on-1 situations against pretty much anybody in college, I like our chances in those matches are very favorable. So,
all right.
he's a very difficult
he's
matchup.
always a direct threat, but what type of game do you guys play? Do you mix that up? How do you play?
Yeah, I would say we do. We're a possession-based team. I think if you watch us play, you would walk away feeling the same way. I think last year we played 19 matches, and you got all the data from all the matches and stuff. And in 15 of those 19 matches, we were the team that possessed the ball the most. And so that's a kind of a style to how we build out of the back and utilize our goalkeeper as one of our field players as well. And we kind of have a modern feel about how we play in the attack. And so it's a fun. I think it's a fun way to play. I think he feels the same way, and I think our guys feel the same way as well.
How's the support from the student body?
We can definitely have, a lot more players come to, our games. However, the people who do come, loud, cheering us on, and it makes us feel good, when we hear, everyone screaming for us, cheering for us, it only drives us on to do more. So, love the support from the fans. Always can have more.
So he's not been here but for 3 years. I've been here for 12. So I've seen the crickets in the stands. And, and to now when we've started to turn the corner here and run a little bit more, and now we have a couple hundred people, 200, 300, 400 people at some games. And so
makes a difference.
When we play UIW, the place is really, really crowded. It's a pretty good atmosphere.
Talking to Ryan Pratt, Houston Christian Huskies were 11-5-3 this year, 5-3-2 in the conference. They go to the final game in conference play against Lindenwood. If they win in penalty kicks, they go to the NCAA tournament. That would have been real history and a big, big deal. But you're one game away from it next year, so I guess you guys know where the target is. You got a mix of players. You got 14 foreign players. You got 8 Houston area players. Talk about the dynamics of that now in the college game, because there are a lot of foreign players that really, really want to come to America now.
I don't know if you saw this or not, but Missouri State is the first Division I program to not have any U.S. kids on the roster whatsoever and start. So it's a little bit going the opposite direction, the opposite end of the spectrum. We have to, at least my philosophy of building a roster is we want to just find the best players wherever we can find them. Obviously, we've got one of the best ones on our team here. He's from Houston. If we can get the Houston-based guys to stay home, then that's what we would love to have happen. However, everybody in the country knows how good soccer is in Houston. So we've got to fight off the big dogs to keep them away to make sure that we can keep our guys home, if that makes sense. And so we try and find the best guys from Houston as possible, as much as we can. And then if we have to go overseas or different states, whatever, to find the right fit for us, we will do so.
Yeah, but you got a nice representation from Houston with 8, a couple from Katy.
Yep.
Speak about that, because that's important to have that representation here with a college program, I believe.
You talk about, crowd support and fan support. The only way to really get that is to have players from your hometown playing on your team. That automatically brings family and friends into the games to watch, and so it just helps the atmosphere as well as anybody else to have those guys come to the games.
Some of the teams that Houston Christian plays, Florida Gulf Coast, SIU, Edwardsville, Western Illinois. Who's your biggest rival on your schedule?
Ryan, who do you think our biggest rival is? I mean, I know who it is for me, but...
It's a tough question. I feel like, although our conference is not known or not as known as maybe the ACC, I do feel like every game is a rival game, or at least that's how I see it. I know a lot of the boys would see it. You do have UIW that are right there, San Antonio. So
yeah,
I guess it's always a good game. It's always a big rival game.
That's
so.
Incarnate Word.
That's the one I would say is
Incarnate Word.
UIW is 2.5 hours away. And I don't think they like me, and I know for a fact I don't like them very much either.
Yeah.
So
that's a good thing, right? They drive you.
I don't know if anything good came out of San Antonio. I don't know if there has or not.
Hey, by the way, a little genuine dislike in sports is not a bad thing. All right,
it's healthy,
that's why we like competition. A little genuine dislike can go a long way, right? It's a great part of sports. All right, the portal's a whole different thing, and most people go to it with college football and basketball. But listen, it affects you as a coach.
Yep.
You may have somebody right now in your program that says, "Hey, coach isn't playing me enough. I'm leaving. I'm not going to deal with coach. I'm leaving." I don't like that aspect of it. Honestly, how does that change what you do?
Oh, well, Glenn, how much time do you have to talk? First off, since we're talking about honesty and bluntness, I hate the portal. I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
This day and age, I think we're teaching the kids the wrong thing about how to maybe get yourself through some adversity and some situations that arise through the 4 years of a normal college development phase. And so I think, right now everybody just wants to jump to the next thing, and they don't want to have the experience of what it feels like to work yourself out of a situation and then be successful because of it. And imagine how much better of a person or player you become if you have those kind of skills that you've developed while in college, which when you and I went to college, that's what it was for.
Sure.
And so I would like to see the rule changed a little bit, but they don't ask me what that rule is going to look like. For me, the portal has changed a lot in the fact that we have guys that come here who maybe didn't get looks at other colleges or universities, and they maybe want to use HCU as a stepping stone, so to speak. And so if they have success here, they want to try and go elsewhere, but it's not always that easy. And so for us, my staff, we still like the model of recruiting freshmen and having them come in and develop them over 4 years. This guy came in 4 years ago. He stayed. He's been a phenomenal member of our program.
I like that.
And that is something that's very lost this day and age is loyalty. From players to coaches and players to programs and what have you. And so that's something that we really hang our hat on, is if we can find those kids and have that kind of loyalty.
It's hard for you to build a program if you know that you're going to have to. Now, what percentage of turnover do you think you're going to have next year?
I mean, I don't know. We lost 4 guys to the portal this year, which out of 34 guys is a very low percentage when there's other teams that have 8 or 10 or 12. And so I think that speaks to the environment that we have and the culture that we have, that we don't have a bunch of guys just jumping ship because they know how good it is, if that makes sense.
So if you have a kid that's coming in and you might get a tip-off that you think he's somebody that's using this as a stepping stone, are you not as apt to bring him in and try and change his mind?
Yeah, absolutely. I would rather have a guy who is maybe not quite as ready, but who's going to be here for 4 years and give me everything he has for 4 years, and we can develop that guy over that time period, than have a guy who thinks he's ready and just wants to come in and then get a sniff and maybe try and find somewhere else to go.
Because part of the joy of coaching is building something.
It's absolutely the joy of coaching.
And this is so counterculture to that.
You look at this guy over here when he came in here as a freshman. If you watch him play now versus then, his game has completely evolved in many different aspects. And I know I see it. I don't know if you see it or not, but a lot of the coaches that we play against definitely see it. And so it's a lot of fun for me to have them contact me and say, hey, man, like even guys in the Dynamo, he's a Dynamo Academy kid as well. So their coaching staff is at our games when we play him in the spring. We play the Dynamo 2 group. And so they come and ask me about him, and they've seen him play now over the 4 years. And they're like, man, he is really evolved and developed. You guys are doing a great job with that kid. And so when you have professional staffs watching our team saying that about our guys,
good.
It really puts some teeth into the meaning of what we're doing here at HCU.
That's the beauty of having an MLS team in town, creating a good relationship. Who did you play for before the Dynamo?
So I was on a made team by my dad. It was called the Houston Legends, and it was kind of just, just a way for me to have a team because I came from Ireland. I was born and raised there.
No kidding.
When I came here, there was no team that.
Are you a dual citizen?
Yes, I am.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
maybe the Irish national team is
hopefully. But there was no way for me to, have a team. We didn't know anybody, so my dad created a team, and
that's a great story though because we forget here, all the MLS academies sometimes are claiming players and they get them later, but we have to. The introductory teams you're on, there's all those other levels that sometimes don't get the credit they deserve.
And I'll tell you this, we saw him at one of our summer ID camps. We have all these things that we do, and one of the things that we do is we have ID camps both in the winter and the summer, and he came to our ID camp as going into his junior years between a sophomore and junior year, and we got this guy who's 6'3", just running past guys, scoring goals. I turned to my assistant and I go, who is this guy? And we've got to find a way to get him on our team. And so that was before we even knew anything about who he was. He just showed up on our campus and was just blazing by guys scoring goals, and that was history. The rest is history, and so here he is.
Well, you guys made a big effort to come up here. They're coming all the way from downtown like a lot of you here tonight, so thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it. So keep an eye. Don't forget Ryan Okarai.
Yeah, don't forget him.
Don't forget him. He was all-conference, 9 goals, Ohio Valley Conference. And you know what? I'm coming to watch you over at HCU next year. So you set that up for me.
I will. We'll have you.
All right? And I'll even pay for my ticket.
Yeah.
Support
I'll
the program.
Ticket for you,
support the program. No, we're going to support the program. And then, of course, Ryan Pratt is the head coach. By the way, this is the only Division I soccer team, NCAA, that we have in Houston. It does not make sense in a city of this stature that the likes of U of H, and I'm not trying to beat up U of H and Rice, but they do have women's programs. But, what a year to announce that you would maybe add a men's program, a World Cup year. Now, you want to talk about legacy? There's some legacy right there.
What a way to grow the game.
Yep. Ryan Pratt, Ryan Okarai, thank you guys very much for coming out here tonight.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you, guys. Don't forget it. It's Houston Christian Huskies. Get out to some of their games next year, and we'll watch this guy bang in some goals. Right, Ryan?
Yes, sir.
All right, get back to your studies now. All right. Senate Avenue Brewing, we're going to take a break. We're coming back. Victor Valencek, Barcelona. Ian Veary, Liverpool. 2 big-timers. We saved them for last. We'll take a break here. We do want to remind you, get over to YouTube, Soccer Matters. We would love for you to follow us over there. There's a lot of information. I'm doing a weekly video with the help of Victor Ariza, which is basically showing our city of Houston off, which is also going to show off some of the great soccer history that goes back to the late 60s and mid-60s that people don't know about. So it's really good content. TikTok Soccer Matters, YouTube Soccer Matters, and that's it for shameless promotion. We'll take a break and more to come.
ESPN 97.5.
All right, Slip Sliders, 1802 bins. If you're down in the museum district, that's a really cool place to go. They got all the proteins, beef. My favorite is the Shrimp Shack. But down there, right by all the museums, right by the zoo, right by Herman Park, that's going to be a hot area during the World Cup, too, because that's in between the Fan Fest and also Energy Stadium, which we're going to have to call Houston Stadium because of FIFA. All right, I'm welcoming 2 great friends. They've been on the show many, many times before. They're involved with 2 of the foreign-related clubs in Houston. Liverpool Supporters Group. He's Ian Veary. Give him a round of applause. And Victor Valencek of Houston Coolest, Barcelona's Supporters Group. So, first off, I'm starting with you, Ian. Real simple one. What's the World Cup going to mean to you this summer?
Oh,
the best tournament in the world, always. And the expansion of it is awesome. And just the fact that we've got so many games here in Houston, it's going to be a really exciting summer.
Victor?
For me personally, I feel like I'm blessed that I have an opportunity to go to 3 games here. So I'm excited about that personally. But then, of course, I'm just excited for our boys, for our Barcelona boys, to see what they're going to do here with Spain and the rest of the countries they support.
By the way, we're at Senate Avenue Brewing. It's 16,000 Dillard. This is going to be a great spot to watch World Cup this summer, no question about it. Okay, obviously, you're an England fan.
Of course.
All right, give me a little thought on what you think England's looking like under Tuchel. I like how he's a little bit, pushes the envelope a little bit more than Gareth Southgate, the former manager.
It's an embarrassment of riches, I think, we've got right now. I think it's going to be a challenge for him to pick the squad that he's actually going to take, because there's so much good talent in England right now.
So that means, I got to give it to you now?
I think you can. I'll lift it now, Glenn. Thank you. No, I think we are going to win it. I think we've probably got the best chance of winning it this time, to be honest.
Ian, are you doing the bring it home thing now?
I'll start singing if you like.
Yeah.
I can do it.
Okay, Victor, who's your team? You better say the right one here.
I'm always pro-USA, but of course, being a Barcelona, what drew me to the game was the Spanish national team. Yeah. That's what drew me to FC Barcelona back in 2010. And again, to see it'll be interesting to see what De La Fuente does with this squad. And obviously, I'm focused on players like, Joan Garcia, we've just picked up one of the best keepers probably in the world right now, young keeper, and we're all just waiting to see if De La Fuente is smart enough to bring him on board and bring him to the Olympics. Bring him to the World Cup.
No question, England and Spain are amongst the favorites. There's no question about that, and England's got a great blend of youth and experience, new manager, and I never thought I'd see the day a German manager would be managing England, but you know what?
It took a bit of getting used to be honest, but that's the game now, isn't it? And Tuchel, I think, has done an amazing job so far. I really like him. I think if we are going to win it, he's the guy to do it.
Yeah, no, I think if you're an England fan, you have to feel good about that. I parallel that directly to the U.S. national team, because with Southgate, you had, seemed like he was getting too close to the players. Same here with Greg Berhalter. Now we got Pochettino, more autocratic. He doesn't care about what people did in the past. He's looking at everybody, and he's setting the tone as to, look, if you're not into the collective and going far in this tournament, you're not going to make my roster. Thoughts, Victor?
No, I was excited. I got a chance to go to Austin to see Pochettino's, our U.S. men's national team, and it seems like it's a constant work in progress. So I'm just excited to see what's the end product that he finally puts together, because every match seemed to be pretty different.
Yeah, I think it's settling down now. I think the roster's broadened out. I think he's in a good place. You got the potential of putting the whole country behind you. I got to say, you got to go to the semifinals. You're not going to get to host it again. Semifinals has to be the target. You don't believe it, but you watch and see what happens. You watch and see what happens. The U.S. has got Weston McKennie playing well, a number of guys in Europe. The durability, I think, of Pulisic's an issue.
Yeah, well, if he's not with us the whole time, we're in trouble, right? It was amazing to see the difference in the midfield. He didn't start when I saw him, and it was just the whole midfield. Just the ball was just flying right past it, and he is going to be so critical to our team.
All right, Ian, Houston LFC. They hang at Hugh O'Connor's. I've been out there. That's your spot.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about, the group now. You had a lot of good times there for a number of years now. It's a little bit different now with Jurgen Klopp going.
Oh, it's very different. And we're seeing that in the support for the game, the people that are actually coming. We've got 725 members, and we open for every single game. And even the game last weekend, which apparently now is a big game, was quite quiet compared to how it used to be, because Liverpool, it's a different season this year.
Yeah, and
for a number of reasons.
So now we've ratted out the guys that aren't the real fans. The real guys are like you are there, right?
We're always there.
Revoke their memberships. Revoke them. Revoke the memberships.
We are just trying to regenerate everything, actually, and try and get a bit of a new focus and a bit of a new push to the club this year. So towards the end of this season, we're actually having some voting the week after next, after the Brighton game, to try and get everything re-established and get it moving forward again.
Yeah, and I want to remind people, supporters groups are all over Houston. They come in every shape, form, different teams, different leagues. And these are serious groups, right? So are you officially affiliated with Liverpool?
Yeah, we are the official Liverpool supporters club.
There you go. How about you guys?
As well, again, we're the Houston Kool-Aids. We're officially called Penya Blaugrana Houston, and we are as well an official, we call it Penya, again, represented and official recognized by the club in Barcelona. And, it's just been, I'll be honest, the last couple, we went through the big loss with Messi years ago, and we saw a huge drop-off of fans, but Hansi Flick in the last 2 years, we've got this hockey stick momentum, like the fan engagement, the bar. When we have El Clasicos, we had 4 of them last year. We had just absolutely packed houses. And so, again, people are enjoying this team. They're enjoying the football again. And my goal is just to make sure that they have a place. If you're a Kool-Aid, if you're traveling in from across the country, you know that you have a home, and I make it easy for them that they know they can watch it with us.
And I assume both of you guys have been in the bar or the pub, and you've had somebody from Liverpool drop in, and you've had somebody from Barcelona or from overseas. It's interesting because we're at the Velvet Oak Tavern twice a week, for matches. And again, we had a group of actually Catalans who were here on a conference, an engineering conference, and because they're Catalan and because that's Barcelona, they were like, hey, where can we watch the game? And I'm like, please come. And had a big group show up. And so it's great to know that what we've got there is an open door for everybody to. I mean, that's football in a nutshell, though, right?
That's what happens.
It opens doors.
It does.
I mean, when you have that common thing, doesn't matter what part of the world you're in, it opens doors.
Yeah.
Ian, how hard is it to get, the official designation from the club? What type of process do you have to go through? I'm curious.
Well, we have to have officially elected members. We have to have official board. All the board have to be members of Liverpool Supporters Club from Liverpool as well, not just here. We have to be officially part of the Liverpool Supporters Club as well.
And Victor?
I echo, it's the exact same requirements as well. I'm I'm a member of the club. I actually will be in Barcelona over March 15th when we're voting. I get my first time to vote for the president. Laporta just stepped down because he has to step down so that he can campaign, and then he will be up for election. So I get a chance to vote.
Unbelievable. Ian, can you put out the where people can contact you if they want to get into the group?
Yeah, it's HoustonLFC.com, and we meet at Hugh O'Connor's for every single match.
Victor.
And for us, again, you can go to Houston Kool-Aids. That's HoustonCules.com. And again, we're at the Velvet Oak Tavern, and we're there as well, twice a week, every single game.
Partners of the club or customers? Your groups.
That's a great question.
I had to come up with a good one to end the night.
I'll say that we are part partners, definitely customers.
Yeah,
I think there's definitely a little bit partner, but there's a whole lot of customer.
Yeah, that's the plan, definitely. But it's great, like Victor said, we get people that are coming in because of oil and gas, come from the UK, and they come to the games there and they love it. So it's great. And I love the fact that we have supporters groups. And the best thing for me is when we get guys from the other supporters groups come and watch games with us as well, because that just creates more of a authentic soccer atmosphere for me, and that's just the best part of it, really.
And these guys know if they're official, it comes with responsibility. Thank you both for coming in tonight.
My pleasure.
Victor Valenchek, Ian Veery, two great friends that I've gotten to know through soccer, and I thank you both for coming out here tonight. That's going to do it for us here. Senate Avenue Brewing, we're going to do a drawing here in a minute for some shirts, hats, and balls. Back in studio, Ryan, thank you very much. Out here, Brian McDonald, give him a big round of applause. And also to the mayor, the owner of Senate Avenue Brewing, right over there in the Dynamo jersey, the one and only Andrew Mitchum, who's putting it behind Soccer Talk. And we do this every month up here, every second Tuesday. So don't be afraid to come out. Hit us up on our YouTube and TikTok channels, Soccer Matters. And again, a big thank you to everybody here tonight for coming out And also Fidel for bringing the World Cup here tonight. Thank you, Fidel. That'll do it, everybody. Thank you very much for coming out to Senate Avenue Brewing.
ESPN 97.5.
I assumed you knew.